Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special presentation done by Irene and Hieu. Irene will be doing most of the presentation and it's her work. It's about what is Dun & Bradstreet. The tragedy is that most people want to know and want to learn how to use it. But what is it? Well, Dun & Bradstreet records yourself, your home, your car, and including the whole of your country as being the collateral, I beg your pardon, for any damages that the stock market may occur, and the banks as well. In other words, your children, yourself, are actually listed as the liable parties to pay off your nation's debt, the bank's debt, or any other international banks or corporations that are working in your country, as well as your country itself. Now that you've understood the potency of what I'm saying to you, that you are actually collateral and your homes are collateral, I should say, the horror of what we're going to describe should be very prominent to you. So I'm now going to hand it over to Irene and Hieu.
Hello, everybody. I'm Irene. I'm in Ireland, in County Meath, and I just got. I was always wondering how the government would come up with all these different agencies and everything. And I looked up, thinking, well, if everybody who runs a business, most people, if you have a limited company, you have to be on the company registration website and be registered with them. And I found out that why is the government of Ireland not on it? Why are all these government departments not on it? So it came to my attention that there was a company called Dun and Bradstreet, and they are on the New York Stock Exchange. And all the government departments of Ireland, including the government of Ireland, are all registered on it as a business. See here, on here, it has doing business as the government of Ireland, and that it's located in Dublin and all that kind of thing. So that got me wondering about all the other government departments. So I looked up number one, the Department of Justice. Okay, that is a government body which is over all the courts and everything. And here I have number two, the Court Service of Ireland, doing business as the Court Service of Ireland. And here they actually generate $88.33 million in sales, US dollars, as they are on the New York Stock Exchange. And you kind of wonder, how the hell do they do that? It seems mad altogether, because if everybody would be under the assumption that when you vote all these people in, that they employ people to run the company in a public capacity, but they seem to be a private company or some kind of a company on the New York Stock Exchange and not on the Irish company registration file, where you register it, and they're not there. So, what's that one now? Here is a typical one here, which we is regularly brought up by Mark on his presentations about McDonald's restaurant. So they are on Dun and Bradstreet, as they are another company, just like the Court Service of Ireland and Department of Finance. There's another one here, Land Registry. They are also on Dun and Bradstreet. So you kind of wonder, like, do you write to these people in their private capacity, or do you write them into their public capacity? Like, are they a private company or a public company? How do we get through to them? No. This one here is the Department of Finance and Charlie McCreevy. Now, the funny thing about this is a lot of these people who are the key principal have already left politics. They're not even in government anymore, but their name still appears on this website for some reason or other. Has never been updated. Don't know why.
Well,
Um,
can we find out when it's
mm,
been updated by scrolling down?
it is on it, is it?
It should be at the bottom.
Yeah, okay. You start in 1920. Oh, that's a bit again. Yeah. Um, Dun& Bradstreet. Here's a bit about Dun& Bradstreet. If you look at Wikipedia, it's a corporation in New York. They're not registered in Ireland, but they're registered in the United States of America. You know, so they're foreign to Ireland. You know, so that's basically my presumption of it, my interpretation.
Would I be right in saying that basically virtually every country in the world can see themselves being listed?
It appears to be.
Well, I can answer that, Mark. Hi everyone. This is Judge Hieu from Terra Australis. I've got Dun& Bradstreet in Australia as well, just to prove to the audience that this is a global company. You've got the Dun& Bradstreet in 3 key locations in Terra Australis, Australia. One is in Queensland, Western Australia, and I think one in Perth, Adelaide. So I've just looked up Department of Health, and guess how much they earn? Like, you can see how many subsidiary as well. I mean, I can share my screen and let the audience have a look, but just to give you some closure to that global operation. Department of Health Queensland, for example, generates 23.08 billion US a year, right? And it has 95 corporate subsidiaries. So that's just one state health department. And I've looked up other key departments just like Irene, and yeah, they are doing business as. So it's actually quite useful because, you know, there's a few free reports that you can have a look. They can drill down on the subsidiaries and a few other things, and the branches as well, like how many branches they have. So they're free to have a look. But if you want to pay for the reports, you know, you can have a look at how deep and, you know, what they're involved in, and you know, specific financials, things like that. So yeah,
Can I
over to you.
can I play the devil's advocate here? You know, and the reason why that is because you guys are saying these things to the audience and to me, and I have to put myself in a position as like a man or woman that knows nothing and what the significance of all this is. So the first question that comes up in my mind as a novice, you know, is like, yeah, okay, so what? What's the big deal? What's the big deal of countries making money? What's the big deal with that? What's the big deal with, you know, for profit corporations and bureaucracies and government organizations? What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with it. You know, a doctor treats people for making money for what they call, you know, compensation. So if he sees like 1,000 patients in a year, I would expect him to make a couple of million for adequate compensation. So what's wrong with that? I don't get it myself.
Mark, here's what's wrong with it. Yes, a company for profit is out to make you know, a gain, earnings for the shareholders and other stakeholders that has an interest in their security interest, financial interest, and whatever it is, political, blah blah blah. But for the Queensland, like for example, that Queensland Health Department, you know, a lot of people think, oh yeah, it's a charitable, you know, it's a government agency, it's supposed to benefit the community, and yet it's operating like a business, turning over billions of dollars per annum. with 95 other subsidiaries, that's a huge operation. So while the sin here is it gives like on the front end, you know, the public, the general public thinks that, you know, oh, you know, Department of Health, one state, other state, they're not really out here to make a profit. You know, it's more like a charitable, benevolent organization. Well, that's really hiding behind something, isn't it? To me, that's my thoughts. But if you just look at it per se, it's not a sin to make profits, because that's what they do. But you know, they hide behind these other social things. You know, that's one of them. And why is it so much profitable when it's just health? You know, it should just be covering the cost and perhaps compensating people working there. But 23, that's a lot of profit. That's a lot of gains. So you start to wonder what is happening in that industry as well. So there's a lot of questions that leads on to many things, and you know, the pharmaceutical companies involved and things like that. I haven't even looked at the 95 subsidiaries. I mean, they could be using a reciprocal organization that would benefit both ways, you know, sourcing the medicine as well as treating people. Yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. So let's get some analysis going here in my mind. All right. Okay. So in Queensland, the Department of Health there makes how much did you say billions?
Roughly 23.08 billion US, not Australian,
Okay,
US dollars. Mm-hmm.
So if it's US and they're measuring it US and it's listed in the New York Stock Exchange, that means the New York Stock Exchange is the one that's owning and running the hospital in Australia for the Australian people, and the Australian people are not the financial beneficiaries of the profits that are being made in Australia, but they're actually being channeled out of Australia and into the New York Stock Exchange. Would that be correct?
It appears to be that way, and I have to drill down and have a look, because everything is quoted in US dollars, and it's got that sort of global feel about it, you know, Mark?
Okay.
Even though
I'm gonna ask you and Irene a question, because to be honest with you, okay, Irene has pointed this out to me, and you've pointed it out to me, and I'm thinking, yeah, okay, what's the big deal? I still haven't been satisfied. So I'm gonna lead this question on.
Okay.
Would the hospital in Queensland, just that Pacific, you know, Queensland area, Department of Health, is it profitable for them to make sure that people are healthy or unhealthy?
Wow, that's a good question. Well, logically, and looking at this sort of from a business point of view, you want to repeat business, right? I mean, you know, food industry is the same thing. You know, people like that sort of consistent, regular, familiar, and it sort of tastes nice, and you know, repeat. Which is why some of the food chains are so profitable, for example. So with this department, why is it so profitable? It has to do a repeat. So how do you, if you cure someone completely, there won't be a repeat. Even if you charge them so much, you can only charge them so much. But if it's a repeat, then you've got a good customer base, just like customer loyalty, but done on a very different way. So to understand it, you know, I think we need to drill down on their subsidiaries. You know what I'm saying? See what companies are involved.
Hieu, I personally don't think you've answered my question. I want an answer. is
Is
it
it
more
a-
profitable? Is it more profitable for the Queensland Department of Health to have a healthy Queensland people or an unhealthy? Which one is more profitable is what I want a direct answer to.
unhealthy?
And
Be-
so if you folks in Queensland started to grow your own vegetables or bought organic vegetables and got yourself healthy, would the Department of Health now see you and your life change behavior as being detrimental to their for-profit making business, i.e. Department of Health of Queensland?
I can answer that for the people. The answer is yes, resounding yes. It's a competition.
So
It's
would it be of interest to them to make sure that they collaborate with the food industry, the pharmaceutical industry, with the mass media, and also with petroleum dollar, with also petrol pollution, and all of these things in order to calibrate and engineer sick people for profit,
correct. That ties
Okay.
in with the business plan.
Okay, all right. So let's imagine that there is conspiratorial works going on, and we have titles for that. But remind me what that title is in the US when people conspire.
Uh, I'll give it to you in a second, Mark.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to wait.
Title US Code, Title 18, Section 371, conspiracy. Conspiracy to defraud.
Okay. All right. So let's create another scenario. The Department of Health hasn't been successful in making people sick in the territory of Queensland or state of Queensland or province. Are there psychological means with which they can make people sick, like debt? And it's a leading question, like mortgages, like geoengineering to put people in hardship, flooding, fires. Well, is there any limits on what a corporation can do to the people on it to strip them of their life energy, their health? Is there any limit? Is there any cap on this? Is there any cap, Hieu, on them making profits? Like, if I was intelligent, I would say, look, you can only make profit in order to facilitate the running of the hospital for like 3-4 years at a time, just in case crisis turns up. But everything else needs to be plowed back into the investment of making people healthy, so we essentially will become useless. Do they have that sort of fail safes in? Can they make like $1 trillion if they wanted to?
There is no rule for the limits. It's just the distribution of it maybe
Okay.
maybe regulated, but and then from there on, it goes through that other reporting, but there is no limit for how much they make.
Tell me, is the Department of Health also responsible for psychiatric care? People with mental breakdowns and things?
Yes.
Okay. So if they decided to put up the interest rates for the mortgages and people can't afford to pay it because they've just gone through 2 years of shutdown and also a year of fire and now, of course, flooding, and of course they haven't paid any of the mortgages, as it were, would that be considered a reasonable tool in which to make people financially sick?
I believe that it will create a lot of issues for them to use their services and to come back and even bring up new ones that hasn't been so active before.
Okay, I have another question. Are you a shareholder of a Department of Health? Are you one of those stockholders?
Well, not financially. I don't have any shares in the ones because
Who is the shareholder? Who is the shareholder? Perhaps I can ask Irene. Who
Yeah,
are the
Irene.
shareholders? Who's making a profit, Irene?
People at the top.
Who?
Well, the government of Ireland would be the top of the pecking order, I think, and all the companies, and these would all be subsidiaries, maybe all the different departments of the government of Ireland under a different company name.
Show me, please. Show me about Ireland. Let's have a look.
Right. The government of Ireland.
So who is the owner of government of Ireland? Is it the Irish people?
You reckon it would be if we vote them in. You know, we reckon that they're working in our best interest. You know,
I need a direct answer. I'm not philosophical. You know, you're going to have to tell me, have you ever been the beneficiary of any of the stuff that Ireland produces as a corporation?
No, not particularly, not for free anyway.
Would it be of interest for them to bankrupt everybody in Ireland to take your money away and your houses away and your health away?
Yes, it would, yeah.
Is that the history that you have now witnessed in Ireland for the past 100 years or so, or 99 years?
Yes, and definitely happening now, because a lot of people haven't paid their mortgages and the vulture funds are in now. They're rampant, you know, stealing people's properties at the moment. And the health would be definitely affected by people, you know, the mental health and all that. And then the pharmaceutical companies would be making big money promoting their products to the doctors to give out on prescription, and it's a big chain.
I think I get it. I think Hieu has explained it, and I think you have now explained it. What's annoying me, and I'm getting annoyed, is that I don't think the Irish people are completely ignorant of this. I don't think the Australian people are ignorant of this. I have seen people do presentations on Dun and Bradstreet for nearly like 10 years, 15 years even. And what have they done about it? What have the Australians and Irish people done? Have they got together and sacked their government? Have they told the courts that we are not for profit? I mean, like, am I imagining this, or are people just sleepwalking? Or perhaps they're cowards. Am I dealing with cowards, a nation full of cowards?
No, there are very courageous people now, and there's a movement going on, I believe, Mark. I'm hearing it from my network intelligence. And it's just getting all that confusion out of the way. And this Dun and Bradstreet and what Irene's found and your leading questions are clearing up that confusion between the public and the private. So yeah, you know, you mentioned the 99 years. It's interesting, Mark, because just this Department of Health in Queensland, it started off as like, you know, normally as the benevolent in 1901, which is when the Constitution started in Australia, all the states. And then it got incorporated in 1999, which basically 99 years later, starting. And that's how it is till now. So it got incorporated in 1999. So that's 99 years after the initial, you know, calling in of it as a Department of Health government organization. So what's the significance of 99 years, Mark?
Well, that's the feudal law system of leaseholds. 99 years and 125 years is what the feudal lords use to lease out their lands. that includes corporations and so on and so forth. So after the lease ran out on it, they incorporated it. What do people know what incorporated means? It means for actually it to go overseas. I would like to go back. I would like, look, you know, Irene has explained to me that their court systems are not jury systems. You know, it's not like 12 men and women coming together around a table to give their fiduciary, you know, findings on what this is. It looks like it's totally for profit. The sole purpose of it is to remove people's houses, kick them out, and it's done by a few group of people in Ireland, in Australia, and the whole of Australian people can't get together, and the Irish people can't get together and put them to bay. The Irish people can't come out and say, hey, F off your court system. They can't get their toilet paper out and, you know, wipe their backsides in front of it and offer it to them. What are they, sheep? Obviously, I think they are. You know, when you tolerate intolerable things, I have to pass sentence on you folks. You're bloody sheep. Obviously you are. You are sheep. I mean, am I being out of order of saying that?
Well, Irene can say something, and I.
Well, there's a lot of sheep in our country. No disrespect to anyone, but we had a voting there, for our elections there 2 years ago in February of 2020, just before lockdown. And it took months for them to form a government. And the people who were actually voted in didn't get into power. They were kind of hijacked by the other political parties, and they're in government running the country.
So that tells you your vote does not matter, just as in the US as the... Can we change this picture, Irene? I think you've got some other bits and pieces like a YouTube or something there. So essentially they're using the same McDonald's corporate instruments.
Yeah, like we're no different than any other company. Like any
other
company.
I think, you know, I have to be judgmental. I'm going to have to be judgmental. I think the Irish people are like a cheeseburger with a cheeseburger with a receipt. That's all. Okay. And that's their contract. And that's their receipt of the proof that they bought hamburger. I think that's how I'm going to see the Irish people from now on. I don't have any respect for people like that.
Yeah.
What about your Australian people, Hieu? Are they sheep as well?
A lot of them are, Mark. They still believe in the main narrative, the main media, the main media and stuff, but they create that landscape for them.
Okay.
But when they actually look at behind the scene, the fabric of it, and follow the money, then they realize it's not what it is all out to be. That's all I want to say.
All right, look, I want to put this scenario out for people to visualize the accuracy of what you are saying and what we're saying. McDonald's has decided to open up court in their McDonald's restaurant called a McDonald's restaurant court. And they're going to summons people in within a 12-mile radius of that McDonald's restaurant using McDonald's receipts as their bills of lading. And they're going to make sure that you come to court and summons you with that receipt for a Big Mac or a McDonald's beef burger, whatever you call it. And if you don't turn up, they'll try to get the police or the Garda to come and knock on your door on behalf of McDonald's to drag you in to be tried by Ronnie McDonald. I nearly swore there. This is what you are telling me. This is what you're telling me, that that Ronnie McDonald, as the judge, is holding court in a McDonald's restaurant, as a McDonald's restaurant, and the summonses are the bills of the ladings as receipts out of a till. Another word for a bank is a till. Another word for a bench is a till. And they're holding court there. A corporation with cartoons, Ronnie McDonald's wearing their uniform, is actually harvesting the whole people of Ireland and Australia and England and the US and Canada, and not one of you can do anything about it? What the hell, man? What are you saying to me? What are you saying to me?
Look.
No, I'm insulted. I'm insulted. I'm not dealing with men and women. I'm dealing with bloody man. You know, these are... Where is the behavior, the conduct of men and women?
Look,
I can't see it.
Like that example, yeah, sounds very comical, but in reality, it's called an administrative court. It's not. It's a vessel in dry dock, and it's a foreign
excuse me, Hugh. Excuse me.
Yes.
Irene just told me that people are losing their homes, just as the Canadians tell me, and the Australians and the New Zealanders and the Americans tell me they're losing their homes to an administrative court. So it doesn't matter if it's a McDonald's administrative court or if it's the goddamn Supreme Court of the Martians. They're still losing their bloody homes.
Mm.
You know, what am I dealing with here? I cannot believe, okay, I cannot believe men have become so sheepish that they can be summoned into a McDonald's restaurant by Ronnie McDonald. That's just absurd, man. That's absurd.
Mm. Wow.
That's absurd.
Wow. It's certainly a very funny, kind of absurd but crazy. But this happens every single day, and I guess the confusion is that they'll make it look so real and so official, Mark. But hopefully, when we analyze all these doing business as supposedly governmental agencies, and then perhaps this knowledge to the people can sort of take them out of the sheep mentality and just follow the orders all the time when they need to question everything. Questioning everything is not something to shy away from. It's encouraged.
Look, I'm looking at the Dun & Bradstreet for Irene Department of Justice, and it's got there the industry, not the bureaucracy or the governance, the industry, executive, legislative, and other general government support, public administrators. Wow.
Sounds very commercial, isn't it, Mark?
It's totally commercial.
Have it all wrapped up.
So, I'm very, very thankful to you and Hieu and Irene for showing us. But I don't feel good inside, man. I don't feel good. I'm a plenipotentiary judge, and I've done some bloody things, And I don't. My stomach is left me. I feel gutted, as the Cockneys round here would say. I feel gutted because, Lord Almighty, how do I put it? How do I put it? They're frightened of bloody Ronnie McDonald.
Yeah.
They're frightened of Ronnie bloody McDonald. You haven't sacked your Supreme Court judge. You haven't told them, even though I shared the most important piece of kit of how to squash all of these things. What have the Irish people done with it? What has the Australian people done with it? It's like psychologically, god damn, they are dumb, man. God damn, they're going to get themselves hurt. And you know what? From their conduct, from their behavior and self-neglect, what do they expect? Do you know how many times I've been in Ireland to form groups, and you know the buggers attack me? They don't attack the rapists, but they attack me. They don't attack their government, but they attack me. These things need to be pointed out as psychological, how screwed up people really are. You know, no wonder why Ronnie McDonald has a free range in Australia, America, Canada, Ireland, Great Britain, United Kingdom, France, Spain.
They're everywhere. Just like the courts, administrative courts and other industry, the government departments, they're everywhere and doing business as. And
look, I don't know how many people are watching this. Okay, let's have a look. How many people are watching it? I can take a guess, I suppose. Just under 500 people are watching this. I gave them solutions to this for the Canadians. And that is applicable to every single country in the world. Out of a stroke of a pen, you can put these corporations exactly where they are. If the Irish people, if the Australian people cannot pick themselves up for the purposes of sacking this freakish thing that is occurring to them, then of course they deserve everything they're going to get. If you witness your wife being raped and you're too cowardly to do anything about it, at least go and bloody get some help. You know?
True.
That's what I'm visualizing, and this is making me quite angry. Not angry at the rapist, but angry at the passivity of the people themselves. You know?
Yeah.
Irene has given us 100% proof that this is a McDonald's corporation that is using you as the collateral for everything, banking, your health. The whole thing is one massive corruption, and the industry is corrupted your blood, your children, your minds, your neural networks, your internet, your media, your television stations, corrupted every single thing.
And can I just add one other piece of information, if you will? And they're probably investing in mutual funds in this company as well.
What does that mean, Hieu?
The mutual funds, Mark.
I'm ignorant, man. I chew on grass, yeah? I chew on grass. What are you saying to me? I have no idea.
Security in the securities. You've talked about the creditors and the securities, Mark. Yes. In the previous talks, and I was on there, you talked about the security. We are the security. Remember you said? Well, those funds are being, you know.
Hold on a minute, Hieu. I mean, look, are you telling me the sheep are the security for the farmer?
Yes.
It's that simple?
Yeah. And they've invested in these health companies, these industries. Yeah, that's right, these industries.
Now, I know farmers, and I think if sheep can give wool for about 7 years. Yeah. I think after that, the sheep now becomes mutton. So you don't get
the process. Yeah, it goes through that process.
So after you've bled, gave up your wool, you now go to slaughterhouse to feed the farmer and his wife. I get it. It's just farming. It's just farming. That's all.
Yeah.
And the human beings are the sheep.
Yeah. the intensity gets, you know, more and more as it progresses down the conveyor belt, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Do we have a solution for this, Hieu?
Yes, you've already given to them in previous videos. And you can mention them again or give links to that effect so that people can say, oh, okay, let's do this. I can't convince them anymore. We've already given proofs, you know. This is just one of them. I mean, yeah, this one's like really practically. If anyone's, you know, saying, oh, you know, you guys are this and you guys are that, you're overreacting, this is not like that. Well, just have a look. Just slip around Dun & Bradstreet and you'll be convinced. If you can just read a bit of financial reports, I'm sure everyone has literacy in numbers and what profit means and what earnings and stuff means. They'll get it. You know, they can connect
Hieu,
that. Yeah.
Hieu, if I was to use your family as the means to make them sick so I can make a profit by me treating their sickness and keeping them sickness, what would you do to me as a man?
I will be, I will seek damages from you because you've harmed my family.
Okay, I'll pay it. As long as I get a little profit out of it. What is it you want, $1 million? I'll pay it.
Pay it.
I'll pay it.
Yeah.
I've compensated you. It's £1 million. So what's the problem? I've made 1,200,000. I keep the 200,000. I pay you the $1 million as compensation. Okay, it's a good deal. Your family is cheap. Thank you very much. I've made £200,000 profit. Thank you. Or dollars profit.
Maybe I should take you out totally, Mark.
But what do you mean take me out? What are you going to do about it?
Stop your operation.
What? How? How are you going to do that?
Well, that'll come back in a moment. I'll give you reasons why I should take you out or take whatever you're doing because you're going to do it to another living soul.
So anybody stopping anybody else from doing the correct thing, like the police, constables, the sheriffs, the Garda, are actually war criminals, and you can put them under arrest because you've got no choice but to put them under arrest because they're aiding and abetting murder. Yes. Not killing, murder.
Murder.
That's what I would say. If you don't put these people under arrest, if you don't want to do the paperwork, then you're going to have to do something. Otherwise, you know, your children are going to be very healthy looking profits, because what do organs sell for? What does a kidney sell for? Yeah, exactly. Like a pint of blood. You know, they think the pint of blood is not sold on the open market. Go and look at the commodities list that are traded. Blood is within the 12 most products sold. Last time I looked.
Wow, and they're asking it for free donation a lot. I wonder we can look up the Red Blood Cross organization.
Please do.
You know
please do.
Yeah.
Let the audience do it. You know, look, Irene, is there anything in Ireland that's even worth mentioning here at this moment?
Just that they're working, all these government bodies are working on assumption and presumption that you're going to contract with them. So you have to rebut them with that letter and telling them that they've no authority over you as such. You know, the letter you were talking about?
Yeah.
You have to write to the departments and saying, well, can't be doing this. You know, you have to show that we are not part of that legal person that is like another company. Like we're being a person, if you're is another company or whatever, you know, like a company is a legal person and they're treating us like legal persons in order to contract with us. So we have to remove that assumption and presumption.
Okay, so I think this is something that we spoke about late last time.
Yeah.
And that's called personage and baratry.
Yeah.
So they created alternative personalities for the Irish, American, Canadians, Australians, and some of these alternative personalities is called Catholic. Some of these alternative personalities is called Anglican, Protestant, and other alternative personalities is called the variety of religions that go around, which are all part of that personage, as well as the pseudonyms and the attitudes that they take on, that I'm this or I'm that, and the variety of names called legal fiction names that they've taken custody over, allowed the banks to take custody over because they thought, oh, that's a good deal for now. And they they played a blind eye to it. They were so convinced, I remember in the 90s, that the IRA will solve their problems, only to find it was this MI5 that created the IRA and running it, just as the Royal Ulsters Union, I think, they're opposition. I am totally, I totally, completely understand that these people are just alternative personalities called personages because they watch the telly, they watch the religious buffoons, and they take on their personalities. And once they do that, they're very happy to take up other legal fictitious names that they don't have custody over and find themselves, these legal personages were created by Ronald McDonald out of a Burger King store. And now Ronald McDonald's want the name back. And they bring you in court called Bartery. That's when they bring charges against a legal fiction name that you signed up to, because you thought you'd be so financially cool or so wickedly cool as a rapper would do in the US, and just simply realize that all you've done is totally and utterly flush down your manhood and your womanhood down the toilet for a personage, an actor's mask. And that's just the truth of it. And that's just the truth of it. And that's the tragedy of all of this, is that they've basically picked up every single lie. And what does it matter that they picked up a false name? They are victims of barratry and personage. Yeah. So I personally don't think, Irene, that people actually know the difference between a man and a woman, a religious man or a woman, a Catholic or Protestant. I don't think any of them actually know they're just legal names, artificial persons. They don't know, because it was man-made. It was created. Yeah. I don't think any of them know. And that's the tragedy of it all. I'm all doom and gloom today, Irene and Hieu, because they got to understand, it's like, it's horror, man. It's horror what you guys are describing. And I feel really upset. And I'm wondering if anybody else feels upset listening to this. Or are they just kind of saying, oh, well, it's, can't do anything about it, It's just the government. What can I possibly do? All this kind of stuff.
It's the way you're educated in school, like to submit to all these government bodies and the courts and everything. Just the way we're brought up. The education system.
Yeah.
Look, yes, sir. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, I concur with Irene. They always frown on the one that's sort of out of line or something that's different in the group. So it's always conformity. So this needs to be broken out, and Mark, this video with us doing this and Irene and other videos together, through the years would hopefully break that mold. Not trying to stir up trouble here. We're just trying to ask questions and looking at the facts. These Dun and Bradstreet is a good start. We're not trying to,
I am.
Causing.
I am.
What do you mean you are?
I'm going to set this whole goddamn thing on fire. I'm going to come after every single one of these freaks. And my intention with zero tolerance is to do exactly with them what should be done. These things carry a death penalty. You know that, and I know that. It's part of zero tolerance. Look what it says here. Executive legislatives and other general government support industry, Department of Justice has 45 total employees across all its locations and generates 5.93 million in sales US dollars. Employees and sales figures are modified. There are 566 companies in the Government of Justice corporate family. Family. As to opposed to political family, which means family of politics. And it's all written in all capitals, which means it's Ronald McDonald. Can you turn to the Ronald McDonald one, please, Irene?
Yeah.
And let people see what the corporate instruments look like.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's written in all capitals. McDonald's Restaurants of Ireland Limited. It's the same thing. Dublin, Ireland. Dublin is written in all capitals, so it's corporate. Ireland is written in upper and lower case, which is also corporate, and it's not in ERA, which is R-I...
E-I-R-E.
Sorry, say that again.
E-Fada, I-R-E.
How do you pronounce that?
ERA.
So McDonald's is not in ERA?
Mm-hmm.
No, but where's ERA then?
That's Ireland, Irish for Ireland. Yeah.
Oh, I don't get that.
Mm.
That's like me saying I live in England and Great Britain and United Kingdom.
Mm.
I didn't know I can live in all three jurisdictions at one place.
Oh, we get it, Mark. Go on. McDonald's.
So, look, the summonses are nothing more than McDonald's receipts. That's all. For what they consider to be unpaid bills. Somebody's gone and ordered a Ronald McDonald cheeseburger and forgot to pay for it. So they're going to summons you into court and steal your home because somebody forgot to pay the restaurant bill. Oh, I like that goddamn deal. I'm in the wrong business. I'm going to set up a Ronald McDonald business in Ireland, Canada, and I'm going to charge everybody for not paying their bill and take their homes off of them. That's a bloody good job. Perhaps I'll recruit people. I'll perhaps hire the Garda, eh? Perhaps the Garda will support me doing this.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm actually telling you the actual truth of how these goddamn things work. And it's damned. They are damned. Yeah. Dublin, Ireland, McDonald's Restaurants and Islands Limited has 1,258 employees at this location and generates 57 million in sales US dollars. Employees figures estimated. There are 3,820 companies in the McDonald's Restaurants of Ireland Limited corporate family.
Wow.
It's quite incredible, isn't it? Yeah,
Yes.
there are 1,258 employees servicing
Yeah.
3,000.
3,820 companies. Yeah.
How the hell is that even possible?
Doesn't work.
Obviously they slice them in like 15, 16 pieces and they send them around, you know?
Yeah.
Which means they're actually hiring people that are not even considered humans or even man or woman. Yeah.
Wow.
And what do Irish people do? They go and take their children to McDonald's for breakfast, after school lunch, a whole bloody thing, just like the Americans, Canadians, Australians and stuff.
Make them
They
unfit. Make
Yeah.
them unfit and sick, and then they depend on the hospitals again. Back to that again.
Yeah. Look, these are all zero tolerance and
Well,
That is that.
the employees, Mark, it's roughly on average 3 heads per location, but I'm sure that they have casuals and temporary staff in between, so they just may well be the managers for those locations. You know, the one that actually you know, hire and fire. So it's quite reasonable. Three per location. You know, it's a heavy traffic, so I'm sure there's more than 3, because you know you can't have 3 people working in that restaurant, because someone has to make the burgers, someone has to call the orders, you know, drive through, all that kind of thing. So, but that's the key staff that actually hires and fires. You've got the casuals, which might not be counted in the model. So yeah, but still, you know, this is a huge organization, and that's just one of them. I mean, you've got Australia. It seems to me that the health industry is very profitable. They're all in the billions of dollars, believe it or not. US. So yeah. So I say this in conclusion, in my looking at this, it's like a machine, right? Cogs and webs put together in every industry to go to you know, to their objectives, and each one of them work in unison, in connection to that, and it's not to benefit you know, the community or the people, because the business model is corrupt, as you say, from the very start. So that's why you're so passionate about letting them go.
Yes. I would like to share something. You know, in Mariupol, in the Ukraine, where most of the fighting is taking place, you know, we have videos of people making videos saying there is no bloody war here. There are no missiles firing, but the de facto government has armed criminals, and those criminals are using those guns to terrorize the local people by stealing and raping people. And that type of government is the government of Ireland, of Canada, Australia. You guys understand what I'm saying to you? This thing that you're looking at in Ukraine,
Yeah.
is just feeding lies to you day and night to keep you in the world of lies. They're telling you the Martians are coming when there is no bloody Martians. They're telling you that the Muslims are coming when they're actually asleep in a different continent. The profound lies of these people, like the Supreme Court and the piece of donkey shits calling themselves judges, are nothing more than something that you should be wiping your backsides on. That's your service that they should be providing for you. Wipe your asses for you. That's what they're used for. That's what they should be using. And you need to deal with them in that way. It's called zero tolerance. Never, never tolerate wicked people and wicked things. These people need to go to prison, and that's what you need to work towards. That's the people in the world. Look. Watch this. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Not yet. Irene, you might have to let
I could
your screen.
stop sharing. I can press that.
Yes, please stop sharing.
Yeah.
Yep. Then share your screen, Mark.
Are you able to see this?
Not yet.
This webcam?
Yeah, I see your face. Yes.
To see you.
You just see me. Okay. Audience, can you tell me if I'm screen sharing with you? Are you able to see just me and a thing called webcam? Can you speak to me, audience? So can you see where it's got weltwebcams.com? Speak to me. Yes, they can. Okay. Now look at this. Look at this. Okay. This is a doctor, and I haven't qualified it. Is in that part of the world, okay, called Mariupol, Mariupol in Ukraine, where all the war is being fought, as the BBC is describing. He's there, and I wish I could play it for you. So he's basically saying, I'm walking on the streets. There is no gunfire. There's no Russians. There's no nothing. But it looks like the Russians are there to protect people, which they have not even entered the country. It's just a it's just a game show. And the quotes are just a game show. Your government is a game show. They're not your government. Yeah. They're not your government. They're just a piece of dog feces that you picked up on your shoe on the way from home. Zero tolerance will put you in your mind to be able to deal with them. Okay, this is a webcam. All right, this webcam is where the BBC and everybody is saying is actually taking place, the war. And this is a live webcam. It's a live webcam. Listen to it. Look at it. Just go to the address, type it in yourself, what city it is, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cameras overlooking the city, which is live. Okay, and it's got sound on it. And as you can see, the entire city is war-torn. I can even see thousands of missiles being fired at. Or am I imagining these things? What does a webcam say? The BBC tells me there is heavy gunfire, helicopters being shot down. Let's look for some helicopters, guys. Come on, help me out here. Oh, the streets look a bit empty. It rather looks like a mediocre place to live even. Oh, there's a car. Look, there's a car. I spotted a car. Your government, your government, ladies and gentlemen, is just like the BBC. Your government, your court system, the judges are just like all of these dog feces stuck to your shoe. Zero tolerance tells you what to do. Get together, sack those bloody asses. Otherwise, I'm going to still look upon you as nothing more than cowards. I had to do it myself for myself, without getting into groups. And every single one of them sitting here, Irene and Hieu, had to do it for themselves without relying on other people. Yeah?
Yeah.
And we are not special. We're just men. So I'm making it clear. There's the live clam. Every goddamn television station, newspaper is lying. They're lying. They're lying to you.
So, Mark, for the audience, if they're lying to the audience and creating these false flags, what's the purpose behind that? Is there an agenda here? Just let
very easy. Very easy.
Give closure to that. You know, if you can say,
oh yeah, I can give that closure. Once you believe a lie, then you're sold the lie that the court system is for real, and you treat it as real. Because anybody that believes a lie is susceptible to another lie, and another lie, and another lie. And the whole world believes that the politicians are corrupt. No, they're not corrupt. They're bloody actors, for God's sakes. They've proven that to you. They believe that the banks are taking over the world. They're a bloody cartoon. They got nothing to take over the world with, but to get you to believe that they've taken over the world. They get you to believe that the Supreme Court is written to you to say that they're going to take your house off you. As long as you believe it, it works. But there are factual devices, factual conduits, factual ways of doing things that bypass the world of fiction. and cameras like this prove 100. You guys know what 100% looks? Because I think you guys are innumerate as well. That's that's the bloody people out there, not you subscribers, because you guys know what's happening. That's 100%. 1, 0, 0 with a percentage sign at the end of it. Proof that the BBC, Fox News, ABC, TCP, what goddamn thing that you can think of, are all lying to you. You know the 101 idiots on YouTube that talk to you about, obviously, Russia has gone too far invading Ukraine? They've bought into the lie, and what they're doing is they're narrating the lie for you as if it's real. The reason why the gold prices are going up is because World War III is imminent, because Russia might launch nuclear weapons. Russia doesn't have weapons. It has armaments. 3 to 4 times more superior than any weapon.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how you know when fiction talks fiction. All these experts that you're following on YouTube, they're bums, man. Because they've bought into the narrative that there is a war going on. Am I speaking to myself? What is this?
No, it's okay.
Look,
people are getting it. Yeah. Oh, thank you for that closure.
Oh, look at this. Oh my God, there's a man walking there in the middle of a war zone on a zebra crossing. Obviously, this guy is mad.
Is there a date stamp on that?
Yeah.
Date and time stamp on it, Mark?
Yeah, there it is. It's all here.
Okay.
Live, time, date, stamp. Let me see if I can blow up the picture.
For the audience.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Okay, let's have a look. There's the date stamp on it, and also the time live. Each camera has its own time date stamp on it. Like this one, 21 hours 03 22 date, 22 and 35 minutes or 5 seconds or something. Yeah, and people can just go and watch it.
There you go, folks. That's proof to you.
Here's another timestamp. You know, my God, this really does look like a war zone. Purely in your imagination. Look, Hieu, hopefully I've not been too hard on people. You know, hopefully I've not been too hard. But I do hope that I've got a great big baseball bat and I smashed it over their head to say, wake up, wake up, wake up. I think human beings are beyond slapping. You know, they need a lot more than that good slap around their face. It's obvious to me.
Yeah, because the lies and the the deception is so heavy, and the sleep is so much that you need that sort of hardness. Nothing personal, okay? Nothing personal.
Oh, it's very personal for me. Very.
Is it?
It's very personal.
Well, you're just you're doing this and we're doing this because we feel passionate about getting people to move over to the other side.
You know, as the Americans would say, you know, I've got a dog in this fight. I've got skin in this game. So does Irene, and so do you. I've put my entire life's energy into this, my entire life savings into this. You know, I put my money where my mouth is. Yeah, I put my face where my word is. You know, of course it's personal for us. You know that.
No, I meant on the other side, not you.
Oh, okay, the other side, yeah.
The other side, like we're saying this and you're saying this, and some people might take it as an offense. You know.
I hope they do. I hope they do.
But it's sort of waking their inner self up. You know, they say when you get angry, you know, something is happening, which is good. You know, either you're mad, you're sad, or you're glad. That's it.
We have given them reasons to be angry. We have given them reasons to, you know, to be happy by the solutions that we've given them to the world. We've given them reasons to wake up, reasons to look after their babies and their children for their countries. And if they don't do anything about it, they are not men and they are not women. And the world will not tolerate people that are not men and women. You will just become extinct.
Yeah.
So,
Irene, any concluding remarks?
Yeah.
Comments?
No, I think everything's all said. Just have to wake
Yeah.
up, everybody, and go forward and progress, hopefully.
has
Be
anybody
courageous.
tried to, sorry, Hieu, has anybody tried to arrest and find out where that prime minister or president in your country lives? Because it's a small country. You should know where everybody lives, including the judges. Has anybody knocked on their doors and claimed that this is a public-private partnership and put those asses on arrest and called the coroner to have them arrested?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, people are afraid of the Gardaí and Garda Síochána.
Has anybody tried to put the Garda under arrest for harbouring criminality, rapist? It's going to happen.
Has to happen.
Someone will respond.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I promise you this. And remember, I'm putting my face and my word online. Within the next 10 days, things are going to change so badly for these governments. You're going to see mass arrests by the people taking place. The politicians will be defecating, and their defecation on the streets is what the people are going to be using to track them down. They know their days are numbered. Yeah. And they're hours away. The mass arrests that are going to take, you know, this is going to be, we've seen quite extraordinary periods just in the last 2 years. You know, when I showed them the existence of gods are not mythological but factual because they got bank accounts, and then gave them the bank account details, that woke people up. The Irish government think that they're going to run away to some mysterious island or run away to some subterranean bunker. They're not. The people are going to hang them, man. Because you can only push somebody for so far until they realize, no, stops here. What you have done is a hangable offense. And we brought the rope along with us.
Yes.
That's obvious for me when I speak to my students all over the world.
Yeah.
You know, so my intention was not to be negative, but my intention was to say to people, your passivity will kill you. Doing something will set you free. We've given you the tools to be able to do what you need to do, and I've given it to you at my great cost as a free gift to people. Okay? Don't abuse it. Don't abuse me. Otherwise, I'll come after you. As you know, the people are blood ignorant, and they can easily become the worst enemy of good people, just as they can become the worst enemy of bad people. You have choices before your eyes, and you have choices before your mind, your vision, your future, your houses and homes. Do the goddamn right thing and do something, yeah? Anything is better than nothing.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Irene.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hieu.
Thank you, Hieu.
All right.
I think we have successfully conveyed to people that their governments are nothing more than McDonald's restaurants selling hamburger and sending out summonses, which are nothing more than receipts, till receipts, out of a McDonald's store. That's all that these legal instruments are. Thank you, Hieu. Thank you very much. You know, I'm going to pray, as it were, psychologically, that this is happens within days rather than weeks. Yeah, because they don't deserve another 2-3 days. It has to be imminent, and it has to be done now. You can use my face if you want. You can use my face. This man here said he's the Chief Federal Postal Court Judge, and he has sent me to arrest you, the Prime Minister, President, Garda, police officer, whoever it is, because you are harboring criminals and using corporate instruments to harvest people. You can use my face. Nobody in the history in the world has ever done that for you. I'm doing it for you because I put my words where my face is.
Wow.
I'm speaking for myself because I speak for myself. I'm not speaking about Irene or Hieu or anybody else, myself. Okay? Thank you very much, folks. My love and understanding to you both. Thank you very much for sharing this to the world. You know, I consider Irene a woman and Hieu a man. Anything less is just a legal fiction. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.